Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the special meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Tuesday, May 12th, 2020. The meeting was scheduled for 10 a.m. It is 10:13 a.m., and Dr. Campos tells me we are ready to go.
Yes, you are. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Setting up roll call and quorum for today. We have Commissioner Caloza and Commissioner James in the office. At City Hall. We also have Commissioner Villegas that's dialing in remotely but is at City Hall in her office. We also have Commissioner Davis and Commissioner Garcia dialing in remotely from home. We have our General Counsel, Mr. Ted Jordan, that's dialing in remotely from home. Myself, again, Fernando Campos, I'm here at City Hall. Mr. President, you do have a quorum at this time. We do not have any commentary under general public comment. We also do not have any commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. We do not and did not receive any commentary for any of the items for today's special agenda number 1.
Okay, well, we'll check in with you as we always do periodically during the meeting, Dr. Campos, to see if we have anybody calling in. Let's take agenda item number 1, which is the approval of our minutes from Friday, May 1st, 2020. Is there a second to my motion that we approve those meeting minutes? That would be by Commissioner Garcia. Any objection? Any objection? Without objection, we'll approve the meeting minutes from May 1, 2020. Agenda item numbers 5, 6, and 7 are annual assessment for street lighting maintenance and operation for 2021, Los Angeles City Lighting District assessments. I'm going to read through agenda item number 5, and then we'll take 6 and 7 with them accordingly, and Mr. Flamenco will let us know about the differences in each. Number 5, recommending that the board, in accordance with section 6.98 of the Los Angeles Administrative Code, adopt and forward the report and transmittals to the city clerk and city council with a recommendation that A, council adopt the report and the ordinance of intention for the Los Angeles City Street Lighting Maintenance Assessment District, transmittal number 2, under which individual maintenance assessments and the composition of the district will remain substantially the same as in 2019 and 2020, and therefore assessments will be exempt from the procedures and approval process at Section 4 of Proposition 218, as allowed in Section 5 of Proposition 218. No assessments will be increased, and no properties will be added to this district, therefore no ballot swill will be required. And B, proceedings for the maintenance of LACLD for fiscal year 2020-2021 will be conducted in conformance with Division 6, Chapter 3, Article 1 of the Los Angeles Administrative Code, California Government Code Section 53753.5, and Prop 218. At the conclusion of the council's public hearing, assessments will be confirmed and an ordinance levying the assessments will be adopted. Confirmation of the assessments by July 31, 2020 is necessary to meet the county deadline for inclusion of the assessments on the 2020-2021 property tax bills. That's assuming that those bills are going to be issued on time. That's a little far away to predict, obviously, on that part. But Mr. Flamenco, it looks like we are doing the same thing on 5, 6, and 7. Am I correct about that? That's correct. Okay. Go ahead, sir. Identify yourself, and the floor is yours. Thank you, Mr. Flamenco. Um, Mr. Jordan, are you okay with the process and the report on numbers 5, 6, and 7? All right, thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Davis, on 5, 6, or 7? Thank you. Commissioner Garcia? Thank you. Commissioner Villegas? Okay, thank you. No questions in the queue in the hearing room, so I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda items 5, 6, and 7. Second by Commissioner Caloza and Commissioner Garcia. Any objection, Commissioner Davis? Thank you. Any objection, Commissioner Villegas? Okay, thank you. Without objection, we'll adopt agenda items 5, 6, and 7. Any issue sending those forthwith? We'll send those forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Flamenco. Agenda item number 9 is a bid rejection. This is a motion. Council Districts 1, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 14. Bid rejection for the sidewalk repair program, package number 56. Recommending that the board reject all bids received for the project from the contractors on the emergency pre-qualified on-call geotechnical structural contractors list. Before we go to Mr. Vega, Dr. Campos, have you had any new telephonic inquiries into the meeting?
No, we have not.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Vega.
Good morning. Robert Vega, Program Manager for the Bureau of Engineering Sidewalk Repair Program. The Bureau is recommending the board reject all bids received for sidewalk repair project number 56 and that the project be re-advertised. This project is part of the effort to accelerate repairs for access requests as part of the sidewalk repair program's access request acceleration element included in the fiscal year 2019-2020 budget. The scope of the work for this project included repairing sidewalks, constructing curb ramps, and ancillary work at 23 access request sites in residential neighborhoods of 9 council districts. The city engineer's estimate for the project was $1.2 million. On November 2nd, 2019, the sidewalk repair program solicited bids from all 9 contractors on the emergency pre-qualified on-call geotechnical structural list. On January 2nd, 2020, 2 bids were received. One from Joe Kevy Construction Incorporated for $1.6 million and Mike Grillich and Sons Incorporated for $1.7 million. It has been determined that it is in the best interest of the city to reject all bids for the project and to re-advertise the project. The Bureau of Engineering has reviewed the bids received and has deemed them high since they significantly exceed the city engineer's original estimate. As such, it is in the best interest of the city to reject all bids. The project plans and specifications will be re-advertised at a later date. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vega. Recognizing the amounts over the city estimate and the request for the rejection, do we have any questions, Commissioner Villegas?
I do not. Thank you. I think that was a really clear explanation. Also, just in our board report. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Davis.
I wanted to find out, is it Mr. Vega?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell me what the findings of your evaluation was with those who did, that we did reach out to? I understand we only had 2 responses. Were you able to, when you looked at this issue, find out from those others why they did not apply?
So the other ones, this was back in December when we were advertising a number of projects, and a number of the contractors had more work, had enough work, and couldn't take on additional work.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Garcia, any questions? Okay, thank you. No questions in the queue. Commissioner Caloza, I apologize.
Thank you, President James. I don't have any questions, but just wanted to add on since from what Commissioner Davis had asked about in terms of the opportunity and what that affords us with rebidding this project. I think one of the things too that was taken into consideration, Commissioner Davis, is that putting it through the normal bid and award process will also allow us to actually have a business inclusion component for the sidewalk repair program, which is going to be really critical, and that's not something that, because of the emergency nature for the existing geotech on-call list that we use, that's not part of that. So the next time we receive bids, we'll have business inclusion there, which I know is something really important to you. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you, Commissioner Caloza and Commissioner Davis. I don't have anything further. Is there a motion that we adopt agenda item number 9 by Commissioner Davis, seconded by Commissioner Caloza? No objection from the chair. Any objection from Commissioner Garcia? Any objection from Commissioner Villegas? All right, without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 9. Thank you, everyone. Any issue sending number 9 forthwith? We'll send number 9 forthwith. That takes us to number 10, Council District 11. Thank you, Mr. Vega, by the way. Bid rejection, Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant, the ferric chloride facility replacement project, recommending that the board reject all bids for the project and that the city engineer return to the board to re-advertise this project at a later date. I believe this was requested by sanitation. We have Ethan Wong from engineering on the line. Mr. Wong. Okay, thank you, Mr. Wong. I don't have any questions. Any questions, Commissioner Villegas? Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Thank you, Commissioner Davis. All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Garcia. Thank you. No questions in the hearing room, so I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 10. Is there a second by Commissioner Caloza and Commissioner Davis and Commissioner Villegas? Any objection, Commissioner Garcia? Okay, without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 10. Thank you, Mr. Wong. Any issue sending number 10 forthwith? We'll send number 10 forthwith. Agenda item number 2, Council District 13, the sole source of alternative lighting technologies, North Outfall Sewer Rehabilitation Unit 14, Marsh Street to Forney Street project, recommending that the board first authorize the city engineer to sole source the use of alternative lining technologies, Altliner, that's their name, cured in place manhole for the North Outfall Sewer Rehabilitation Unit Marsh Street to Forney Street project. And Mr. Jordan, just an FYI, at the conclusion of Mr. Jensen's presentation, I will be asking for the city attorney's thoughts, confirmation or otherwise, approval or questions on the sole source recommendation. Dr. Campos, do we have any new callers into the queue?
Mr. President, we do have one new caller that's dialed in, caller ending in 1103. If you are a member of the public, if you would like to press star 6 to unmute your microphone, the Board of Public Works is now considering item number 2, a sole source of alternative lining technologies, item number 2. Again, this is for caller ending in 1103, 1103. Would you like to make any public commentaries at this time for item number 2? You can do so by pressing star 6. Last call, caller number ending in 1103. I will go ahead and unmute your microphone at this time. Are you a member of the general public that would like to make any commentary on item number 2? Caller ending in 1103. Mr. President, hearing no response from the caller, there is no one in the queue for any public comments on item number 2.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jensen. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning. Brad Jensen with the Bureau of Engineering, Wastewater Conveyance Engineering Division. This project is to request a sole source for the NOS Unit 14 project. This project will rehabilitate 4,675 feet of a 48-inch concrete sewer that was constructed in 1926. There are 10 maintenance hole structures that require rehabilitation in order to restore their structural integrity, and 4 more will be replaced with new maintenance hole structures. The existing maintenance hole structures in the NOS Unit 14 project require rehabilitation due to corrosion from exposure to hydrogen sulfide gases. Replacement of various maintenance holes would be too disruptive to the surrounding areas or not possible due to lack of access. The most cost-effective and practical method of rehabilitation of maintenance holes is to install a new liner material inside of the existing structure. There are 2 types of liner rehabilitation methods for rehabilitating maintenance holes, classified as a Type 1 and a Type 2 liner. Type 1 Currently, there are several Type 1 lane
Okay, thank you. First question from me, though, will be from Mr. Jordan. Mr. Jordan, your thoughts on this item? Okay, thank you, Mr. Jordan. Any questions, Commissioner Davis?
Yeah, we've used this product on two other projects to date. One in Eagle Rock area, the other one down along Slauson. So we have used this product in the past.
And you mentioned that the Aerolock was another substance that's obviously now currently not available. But just for the basic information, when in fact we did have it, how did it compare with this current only product that we have available now?
The Aerolock product, it's manufactured by the same company that produces the key-log liners that we use to protect our concrete pipes. That product it's been developed since the late 1940s, and so the city's used it for a lot of years. It's performed very well. However, the Northwest Pipe, the manufacturing plant property was sold at the end of 2019. Northwest Pipe has not given us any clues or indication when or where they may relocate.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Garcia, any questions?
No, I think I'm ready for pretty thorough.
Thank you. Commissioner Villegas, any questions? All right, thank you. Commissioner Caloza and Commissioner James are okay here. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2, seconded by Commissioner Davis, it looked like, and Commissioner Caloza. Any objection from Commissioner Villegas? No? Okay, thank you. Any objection from Commissioner Garcia? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. And without issue, we'll send number 2 forthwith. Agenda item number 3, Council District number 11. Revised task order solicitation number 05-159D is in dog for Fugro land, that's Fugro USA land, Potrero Canyon Park grading project. This one's been around for a while. Recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to issue a revision of TOS number 05-159D to Fugro USA land, increasing the budget authority from $244,000 to $322,000 for geotechnical engineering services during construction for the Potrero Canyon Park grading project. Dr. Campos, do we have any new members of the public in the queue?
No new members, however, there's still one caller ending in 1103. I'd like to just quickly reach out to this person. Members of the public, the Board of Public Works is now considering item number 3, the revised task order for solicitation number 05-159D. If you'd like to make any comments on this item, item number 3 again, please press star 6 at this time to unmute your microphone. Members of the public, caller ending in 1103, you can provide commentary on item number 3 by pressing star 6 at this time. Last call, caller ending in 1103. Any commentary on item number 3? Mr. President, no commentary on item number 3 at this time.
Okay, let's go to Mr. Schmidt.
Good morning, Patrick Schmidt, Bureau of Engineering, Geotechnical Engineering Division. Thank you, everyone. I'm here today to first present this board report, our request to increase the budget authority for task force solicitation number 05-159D to Fugro U.S. Land Incorporated, contract number C-13608. This is for geotechnical engineering services for the Potrero Canyon Park grading phase of the project. This project site is located at 15101 Pacific Coast Highway in the Pacific Palisades. The project site is being graded to stabilize the canyon walls and to create a natural 46-acre park with walking trails and 7.8 acres for riparian habitat. For geotechnical support during construction, the BOE originally issued a task force solicitation on May 25th, 2018 to all 11 consultants on the pre-qualified geotechnical and environmental engineering services list. Proposals were received from 5 of the firms on the list, and they were scored, and Fugro was ranked the highest and selected for the task. A board report to award the work to Fugro was approved by the Board of Public Works on November 16th, 2018, with a budget authority of $244,000. During construction of the project, which started in the fall of 2018, we encountered a lot of issues with a lot of unforeseen conditions, which included saturated soil from the rains of the 2018 and 2019 seasons. These recent rains we've had over the last few months, which created a lot of saturated soil, which required additional excavation and removal of unsuitable materials. We did encounter some undocumented fill soils and some materials that were legally dumped that had to be handled and processed. This all resulted including the rain delays and the impacts of the weather, an increase in the budget, which we now need to provide to make sure we can get the necessary observation and testing performed in order for Fugro to complete the work and issue a final compaction report as required by the Los Angeles Department of Building and Safety. This task is subject to the Business Inclusion Program. The city has set anticipated participation levels of 13% minority-owned business enterprises, 4% women-owned business enterprises, 25% small business enterprise, 8% emerging business enterprise, and 3% disabled veteran-owned business enterprises. Based on the last invoice we got from Fugro dated February 28, 2020, Fugro has achieved participation levels of 0.72% MBE, 3.72% WBE, 4.45% SBE, 3.72% EBE, and 0% DBBE. For the revised task, Fugro is budgeting the MBE participation level of 1.63%, WBE participation level of 20.96%, SBE and EBE participation levels of 18.98%, and a DBE participation level of 0%. Funding is provided for this revised task force solicitation, an increase of $78,000, and this money is available in Fund Number 100, Department 54, Appropriation Unit Number 00G998, which was actually specifically created for the Potrero Canyon Park project. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you for that, Mr. Schmidt. Any questions from, we'll start with Commissioner Villegas.
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, President James. I do have a question. It says on the board report that the project will be completed in May of 2020. Are we still on track with that?
We're anticipating late May or maybe into the middle of June now.
Okay. And that's because of the rain, or that's because of the COVID crisis that came right at this point?
Primarily just weather-related rain.
Okay.
The project has continued to work throughout the coronavirus epidemic.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis, any questions?
Yes. I understand that in terms of doing the job, as often is the case, there are unexpected things that occur, and that was certainly the circumstance here. And I understand that, secondly, there are oftentimes complicated procedures that have to be followed through, and again, that was another issue that occurred here. Now, when we look at the business inclusion, and we did make some estimated expectations of what we thought that we could achieve. And then the performance on those were very low, particularly as it relates to minority business enterprises and more specifically disabled veterans. The performance on that, the underperformance on that was because because of the lack of available businesses in that category. Is that pretty accurate in terms of why we weren't able to achieve the anticipated goal there?
That is correct, Commissioner Davis. This has been an ongoing problem for the geotechnical environmental consultants on our list. It's very challenging because of the lack of subs available. And the subs available, all the firms just within the city and within the county and other agencies are trying to use the same firms. So when they reach out to them during construction, in this case, the two firms they had originally proposed were not available. And there were several occasions during the last year and a half that they reached out and they just couldn't support it.
Yeah, we've had a history of underrepresentation and underavailability of individuals showing an interest in the minority communities. And so hopefully through contract administration, we can talk about ways in which to perhaps interest people and increase their awareness on getting into these geotechnical areas. It certainly would be welcome for us to have more of a base of certified people to choose from. So thank you for the work on this one. I do understand what has occurred here, and it often occurs because you cannot plan for unintended issues that pop up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. No questions in the hearing room. Is there a motion on agenda item number 3 by Commissioner Caloza, second by Commissioner Davis, and Commissioner Villegas? Was that you? Okay. Commissioner Garcia, any objection?
No objections.
Okay, and I don't have any objections either, so that'll be the order on agenda item number 3. Any issue sending 3 forthwith? We'll send number 3 forthwith. Mr. Schmidt, you're here on number 4 as well. Also, Council District 11, construction order Vista Del Mar Bulkheads Project, Clark Contracting Company, emergency pre-qualified, on-call geotechnical structural construction services contractors list. Recommending that the board first approve a construction order for Vista Del Mar that's 2,200 feet and 3,300 feet north of Imperial Highway, those bulkheads project with Clark Contracting Company in the amount of $1,117,262 with a not to exceed limit of $1,340,714.40, which includes contingency. And secondly, authorize the president or 2 members of the board to execute the construction order after approval as to form has been obtained from the city attorney. And then we'll have a discussion as to whether or not this needs mayoral approval. We can ask Mr. Jordan about that, depending on whether or not the money is already in the current budget. But Mr. Schmidt, go ahead on number 4.
Thank you, sir. As you stated, we're seeking the award of the Vista Del Mar. There's 3 bulkheads between 2,200 and 3,300 feet north of Imperial Highway. We did advertise this through emergency pre-qualified on-call geotechnical structural construction services contractor list. As you're aware, the BOE maintains this list for emergency and urgent necessity construction services for the city of Los Angeles. On February 25th, 2019, the board approved a list of 9 qualified contractors. Contracts were executed on March 29th, 2019, and they are for a term of 5 years, and they expire on March 28th, 2024. This project provides for the construction of 3 new bulkheads on Vista Del Mar to restore lateral support to the roadway. These bulkheads will replace some emergency supports that were installed in 2018 when we had some sinkholes developing within the pavement out there. So this will be the permanent repair to replace the repairs will consist of the removal and disposal of the existing asphalt for the repairs, construction of 3 new bulkheads with lengths of 90 feet, 50 feet, and 50 feet. Also will consist of casting over concrete piles, appropriate concrete lining. Pipe will also include backfill behind the new bulkhead, pavement of the eroding slopes, operation pavement, upgrade, construction of new pavement, and concrete
Thank you. Let me start with the procedural question that we've been dealing with between Mr. Jordan and Dr. Campos on whether or not this needs mayoral approval. Mr. Schmidt, I had heard that the money's in the budget for this, correct?
Yeah, the funding for the current fiscal year.
Okay. My recollection was that between Dr. Campos and Dr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan, was that we the mayoral approval is for things going forward 2021. Am I correct in that, or am I off on that? Is it anything going forward with once the COVID crisis started?
Anything up to June 30th, 2020.
Okay.
And then we have not heard any new instructions post the new adoption of the new budget. However, based on the current budget deliberations, it may continue all the way through the emergency.
I think the probably safer thing to do would be to amend this for mayoral approval. Mr. Jordan, any thoughts on that?
No, I have the memo in front of me. It was effective immediately, March 19th, and it was to be in effect until the end of the fiscal year. So it's
Okay.
in effect right now. Yeah, it does indicate that there are may be made for contracts that are essential for public health and safety. So I think this would sort of fall within that. It also talks about even contracts that have special funding with no general fund impact may also receive exemptions, so they're not automatically exempt.
Okay. Well,
the only thing the memo doesn't say is it doesn't say this also applies to construction orders and things like that. But I think that the lack of using the terminology that we use here in the department does not mean that this is not included. So the bottom line is, I agree with Dr.
yeah, okay. So we need to then, what I'd indicated a moment ago, the safer route is to amend. My motion would be to adopt agenda. Well, I haven't asked my colleagues for their questions yet, but a motion on this should include an amendment for mayoral approval. Any questions, Commissioner Garcia?
No questions. Thank you, President James.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas.
I'm good.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis.
I second your motion for mayoral approval. It certainly can't hurt us to go through the structural process that's been set up.
Great, thank you. That's a second to the motion. Any questions, Commissioner Caloza? Any objection? No objection in the hearing room. Commissioner Garcia, any objection?
No objections.
Thank you. Commissioner Villegas, any objection?
No objection.
Okay, thank you. Then without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 4 as amended. Any issue, sending number 4 forthwith accordingly. We will do so. Thank you, Mr. Schmidt. And thank you, Mr. Jordan and Dr. Campos. That takes us to agenda item number 8. Street Services, Streets LA, Contract Amendment number 1. Arkelian Enterprises, doing business as Crown Recycling Services. Recommending that the board first approve Contract Amendment number 1, consenting to a change of control, assignment, and assumption of the contract, recycling and or disposal of inert materials, mixed debris, waste debris, white goods, bulky items, and construction and demolition materials generated by the Bureau of Street Services from and between Street Services and Crown Recycling Services to Arkelian Enterprises doing business as Crown Recycling Services. Secondly, authorize the Executive Director and General Manager of Street Services to issue a notice to proceed to the new contractor, Arkelian Enterprises doing business as Crown Recycling Services. And third, authorize the Executive Director and General Manager of the Bureau of Street Services to notify the Comptroller's Office for payment services once approved within 30 days to set up the vendor's account. And we have, Dr. Campos, do we have any new members of the public in the queue?
No members at this time, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Ms. Shelton, Monica Shelton.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Monica Shelton Farson, and I'm the program coordinator on behalf of the Bureau of Street Services, Streets LA.
and we are requesting board approval to approve the change in control and name change for this personal service contract from the Crown Recycling Services, LLC, to the Arikelian Enterprise Incorporated, which will also be doing business as Crown Recycling Services. And the contract amendment, if approved, will expire December 31st, 2022. Now, on March the 2nd of this year, we were notified that on December the 31st of 2019, the equity holders of Crown Recycling Services sold all of their entity into the company, Arikelian Enterprise. After further review, Streets LA tentatively agreed to the change and control pending board approval. Arikelian Enterprise is in compliance with all of the city provisions under the contract number 134894, which are on file at Streets LA. The contract language has been reviewed and approved by the city attorney's office, and Arikelian Enterprise, Inc. has been notified that there will be no change in scope of work or price sheets previously submitted by Crown Recycling Services. There is no impact to the general fund. And basically, this concludes my report. And do you have any questions or comments for me?
Thank you. No questions in the hearing room. Commissioner Davis, any questions? Commissioner Davis, any questions?
No, I have none.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Villegas?
None.
Thank you. Commissioner Garcia?
Just clarify, this is just a name change?
It's just a name change, that's correct.
Got it.
No questions from Commissioner Garcia other than that. Commissioner Caloza?
Thank you, President James. Thanks for the presentation. Just to clarify, there's no change in ownership as a result of the name change. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. The company merged with Arikelian, and Arikelian is the surviving entity, and all of the assets and the contract companies were assumed by Arikelian.
Okay. And since they merged as a new company, did that change anything as it results to their certification? I don't know if they hold any sort of MBE or SBE or WBE certification now. Do you know?
That I'm not aware of, but I do know that they have been doing business with the city of Los Angeles under a company that you may be familiar with, is Athens Services.
Arikelian owns Athens.
Los Angeles tax registration certificate, which is on file with the city.
Okay, will you just follow up with me afterward on what the answer is to that if you don't have it now? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Shelton-Farson, one more question. Streets LA doesn't anticipate any interruption or changes to performance, correct?
No change in performance. We just need this approved. We've actually stopped their work right now, pending approval of the board on this particular contract because they are no longer doing business as Crown Recycling.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Then I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 8, seconded by Commissioners Villegas and Garcia. Commissioner Davis, any objection? Thank you. Commissioner Caloza, any objection? No. Okay, thank you, Ms. Shelton-Frierson. Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 8, and without objection, we can also send it forthwith. Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk on what I'll call Chapter 1 of today's special meeting, items 1 through 10?
Yes, you have.
Okay, so Chapter 2 of today's special meeting is noticed for noon, and it is currently 11:02 a.m. So my recommendation would be to adjourn Chapter 1 of the special meeting and reconvene everyone here at noon for Chapter 2, where we will have a lot cleaning assessment role hearing from Streets LA. That will be the order for now. We'll talk to everybody here again that needs to be here. It'll be Streets LA and the board and our executive officer and city attorney. Until noon, we'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you. Zoom recording. Okay, Mr. President, you are recording and council audio is on, and we are good to
All
go.
right, great, thank you. Welcome, good afternoon, everyone. This is the continuation of the special meeting for today, Tuesday, May 12th, 2020. We'll call it Chapter 2, and it's Agenda Item Special 2, Number 1. Dr. Campos, we'll let you establish quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Establishing quorum roll call for today. We have Commissioner Caloza and Commissioner James in City Hall in the boardroom. We also have Commissioner Villegas dialing in from her office at City Hall. We have Commissioner Davis and Commissioner Garcia that are both dialing in remotely from home, and we are also joined by Mr. Ted Jordan remotely calling in from home as well. I am here at City Hall. Mr. President, you do have a quorum for your special meeting at 12 o'clock. We do not have any commentary at this time for general public comment, no commentary for the neighborhood council comment section, and we also do not have any members of the general public that would like to make any comments on item number 1.
Okay, and just for the record, the meeting did start at 12:06 this morning. So let me call the item. Agenda item number 1, lot cleaning assessment roll hearing fiscal year 2019-2020. Recommending that the board consider property owner appeals against the proposed lot cleaning assessment roll for weed and brush abatement charges for work performed by the lot cleaning division in the 2019-2020 fiscal period to be included on the ensuing county tax roll, and secondly, forward the assessment roll to the City Council for consideration and confirmation. We have a representative from Streets LA on the line.
Yes, John Minnis.
Oh, hello, sir. Go right ahead.
Okay, I'm just here in case there's any complaints. We didn't do any weed abatement this past fiscal year, so there shouldn't be any complaints.
Oh, well, we don't have any. We don't have any appeals. So for this item going forward, Dr. Campos, do we need to revise anything before approving this item, since we didn't do any work and we don't have any appeals?
Yeah, absolutely. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. This board took action back on March the 2nd to adopt the proposed ordinance of intention for the weed abatement assessment program for fiscal year 2019-20. Back on March 2nd, 2020, the board set the public hearing date to hear any protests for Tuesday, April 15th. That's a Wednesday, April 15th. Due to the COVID emergency scenario, we had to change our meeting schedule, and since then we worked with our city council counterparts to reschedule that protest period to today, Tuesday, May 12th. The city council will then consider any protests for the final ordinance on Tuesday, June 9, 2020. So the recommendation is to approve this item as amended with those new dates to be entered into the record, and also notification that there is no protests considered at today's meeting.
Okay, then that would be my motion. Did any of my colleagues have any questions? Okay, I don't see any hands. Commissioner Villegas, any questions? Okay, thank you. Then I'll make the motion as amended by Dr. Campos, seconded by Commissioner Villegas. Any objection, Commissioner Davis?
No, I have no comment, no inquiry.
Okay, do you have any objection, sir, to the motion? Okay, no objection from Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Garcia, any objection?
No objections on my side.
Okay, no objection in the hearing room. Then Special 2, Item 1 will be approved as amended. Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send Special 2, Item 1 as amended forthwith. Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk on today's special meeting across the board?
Yes, you have.
Okay, then we are adjourned, everyone. Our next meeting will be Friday morning, which is May 15th at 10 a.m. at the Board of Public Works, and it will be the same virtual meeting as we have been doing, so we will talk to you all then. Thank you. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.